Life no dey stop. Whether na landlord wey wan chop you raw, we no believe say life suppose stop because you wan move forward. Na why we dey one dial away to settle every matter, one dial away to give you the loan wey you need sharp sharp. Just dial *919*28#. That's all. Life no dey stop. You sef no suppose stop. Click Credit UBA. Life never stops. From landlords who want your head on a platter, to medical emergencies that creep up when you're not looking, life never stops. We know that bills for auto repairs could make you dizzy, and the cost of getting that MBA degree could very well cause the earth under you to tilt. But we don't believe life needs to stop for you to keep moving. We are one click away to hold your hand when the ground tilts. Dial *919*28# today. Life never stops. Neither should you. Click Credit UBA.
Started. If it's not United, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we move it. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don'ts wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Let's get it.
Started. If it's not United, why you banking?
Excellence doesn't happen overnight. Add 21st century innovation, and now there is no limit. At the United Bank for Africa, we are committed to delivering the best for you. We have deep roots in Africa. Across our continent, we drive financial inclusion, trade and entrepreneurship. We operate in the United Kingdom and in France, We are the only African bank with a national banking license in the USA. We understand the importance of the Gulf as a hub for global trade.
Hey Leo, split the bill into 4, please.
UBA is built on our cutting-edge technological infrastructure that guarantees not just to take Africa's talent and perspective to the world, but to bring the entire world back home. Because the one thing you can trust is we will always be there for you. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Life no dey stop. Whether na landlord wey wan chop you raw, we no believe say life suppose stop because you wan move forward. Na why we dey one dial away to settle every matter, one dial away to give you the loan wey you need sharp sharp. Just dial *919*28#. That's all. Life no dey stop. You sef no suppose stop. Click Credit UBA. Life never stops. From landlords who want your head on a platter, to medical emergencies that creep up when you're not looking, life never stops. We know that bills for auto repairs could make you dizzy, and the cost of getting that MBA degree could very well cause the earth under you to tilt. But we don't believe life needs to stop for you to keep moving. We are one click away to hold your hand when the ground tilts. Dial *919*28# today. Life never stops. Neither should you. Click Credit UBA.
Next gen me I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
We came to get the party started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. Now I know we step by step. Step in and we move it. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don'ts wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it.
party started. If it's not united, why you banking?
Excellence doesn't happen overnight. Add 21st century innovation, and now there is no limit. At the United Bank for Africa, we are committed to delivering the best for you. We have deep
Welcome to the 60th Annual General Meeting of Africa's Global Bank, UBA PLC. May we kindly rise for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be rendered by the international award-winning Trado, Afro, Soul, and Jazz singer, Yinka Davis.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bounded, freedom, peace and unity. Oh God of creation, direct our noble cause, and guide our leaders right, help our youth for truth to know, in love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. When lofty heart attain to build a nation of peace and justice
Thank you very much. You may have your seats. Let's make welcome the Chairman of Africa's Global Bank, Tony Elumelu.
Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, the time now is 10 a.m., and I'm pleased to welcome you to the 60th Annual General Meeting of United Bank for Africa PLC. The Company Secretary has informed me that a quorum has been formed. Therefore, I have great pleasure in declaring this meeting open. May I call on our chairman, the chairman of all chairmen. When I interact with him, I always say, he addresses me as a chairman. I say, no, your boy. Chief Ferdinand Alabrabra, the chairman, one-time chairman of Standard Trust Bank and United Bank for Africa, to say the opening prayers for us. Thank you for coming, sir. Give Chief Alabara the microphone, please.
Please, may we be upstanding. O God, Father of our Savior Jesus Christ, maker of heaven and earth, we thank thee for this opportunity of bringing all of us together for the 60th edition of UBA AGM. God, please come into our midst, guide our deliberations, give wisdom, Chairman of the Executive Committee of UBA, and may all shareholders continue to enjoy their labor through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Thank you, Chairman. May we sit down, please. Distinguished shareholders, in line with the guidelines of the Corporate Affairs Commission, the 60th Annual General Meeting of your bank will be held by proxy, having obtained the Commission's approval. The effects of the COVID-19 pandemic are significantly lessened now, thankfully, but the coronavirus is still prevalent, and we shall continue to observe the relevant COVID-19 safety guidelines and protocols. It gives me great pleasure, distinguished shareholders, to introduce the directors of your bank. From my immediate right, please, shareholder directors, as I introduce you, kindly stand. From my immediate right are the following directors: Mr. Kennedy Uzoka, Group Managing Director, CEO. Mr. Oliver Alauba, Deputy Managing Director. Mrs. Onari Duke, Independent Non-Executive Director. High Chief Sam Oni, FCA, Independent Non-Executive Director. Ms. Angela Aneke, Non-Executive Director. Ibrahim Puri, Executive Director, UBA. Mrs. Caroline Anyanwu, Non-Executive Director. Dr. Kaede Fashola, Non-Executive Director. From my far left are the following directors: Chugo Ndubisi, Executive Director. Aja Aisha Hassan Baba, Independent Non-Executive Director. Chuks Nweke, Executive Director. Erelu Angela Adebayo, Non-Executive Director. Uche Ike Idi, Executive Director. Alhaji Abdulkadir Jelilo Bello, Non-Executive Director. Ambassador Joe Keshi, Vice Chair, ON. I would also like to introduce the Company Secretary, Billy Odo. And finally, myself, Tony Elumelu. I would like to introduce also the proxies present at this AGM. I'm one, the Group Managing Director, the Company Secretary, Dr. Farouk Umar, Sir Sonny Wosu, at the right time, Chief Timothy Adesoye, Mrs. Bisi Bakari, Norma Awo, Patrick Ajudo. We also have with us Representatives of the regulatory authorities at the meeting. The representative of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Okay. Why did you put a regulator that? Please, give them, move them up, please. Representatives of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Boy, those two tables can come together now. Don't move those two tables this way. Ramon and Obmede, can you guys move? Representative of the NDIC, Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. We also have with us the representative of the external auditors, Ernst & Young. I'd like to introduce the registrars, Africa Prudential PLC, represented by the CEO, Obong Edel. I'd like to also introduce the members of the audit committee. Dr. Feyi Ogoji, Matthew Esenanjo, Alex Adio, Mrs. Onari Duke, Ms. Angela Aneke. We wish to have a full recording of the meeting. The meeting is also being streamed live to the public. Please indicate by show of hand to second a motion or ask a question, and you'll be recognized. To speak, kindly state your name and endeavor to be brief and straight to the point. I will now call on our company secretary to read the notice of meeting.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, distinguished directors and distinguished shareholders. The notice is on page 263 of the annual report. Notice of annual general meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 60th annual general meeting of United Bank for Africa, PLC, will hold on Thursday, April 7, 2022 at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, FCT, by 10 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1, to receive the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2021, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation: Mrs. Owadari Duke, Erelu Angela Adebayo, Ms. Aisha Hassan Baba, OON. 4, to approve the appointment of the following director: Mrs. Caroline Anyang. 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the 2022 financial year. 6, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the bank. 7, to elect members of the Statutory Audit Committee. Special business. 8, to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following as an ordinary resolution: that the remuneration of the directors of the bank for the year ending December 31st, 2022 be and is hereby fixed at 50 million naira only for each director. 9, to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following as special resolutions. 1, that following the recommendation of the Board of Directors, pursuant to Articles 46 and 47 of the Bank's Articles of Association, and in compliance with the requirements of Section 124 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Regulation 13 of the Companies Regulations 2021, the bank's unissued share capital of 10.8 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each be and is hereby cancelled. 2, that pursuant to Articles 46 and 47 of the bank's Articles of Association, and in compliance with the requirements of Section 124 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Regulation 13 of the Companies Regulations 2021, the issued share capital of the bank be and is hereby declared as 34.2 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. 3, that pursuant to the above resolutions, that Clause 6 of the Memorandum and Article 10 of the Articles of Association of the bank be and are hereby amended to read as follows, and I quote, the share capital of the bank is 17 billion 100 million naira divided into 34 billion 200 million ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. 4, that the Board of Directors be and is hereby empowered and authorized to carry out, as it deems appropriate and in accordance with any relevant laws thereto, any actions, including but not limited to restructuring, acquisition, investment, reconstruction, and business arrangement exercise and actions for the bank as may be necessary to achieve competitive business advantage and or comply with any legislation and or directives and guidelines of the Central Bank of Nigeria. 5, that the board be and is hereby authorized to do all such things and take all such actions as are required to give effect to the above resolutions in compliance with extant laws and regulations. The notes. 1, compliance with COVID-19 related directives and guidelines. The federal government of Nigeria, state governments, health authorities, and regulatory agencies have issued a number of guidelines and directives aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Particularly, the federal government prohibited the gathering of more than 50 people, while the Corporate Affairs Commission issued guidelines on holding AGM of public companies by proxy. The convening and conduct of the AGM shall be done in compliance with these directives and guidelines. 2, proxy. A member entitled to attend and vote at the annual general meeting is also entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his or her stead. A proxy need not be a member of the company. For the appointment of the proxy to be valid, a proxy form must be completed, duly stamped by the Commissioner of Stamp Duties and deposited either at the office of the bank's registrars, Africa Prudential PLC, 220B Ikorodu Road, Palm Grove, Lagos, Nigeria, or via email at cxc@africaprudential.com, not later than 48 hours before the fixed time of the meeting. 3, attendance by proxy. In line with the CAC guidelines, attendance of the AGM shall be by proxy only. Shareholders are required to appoint a proxy of their choice from the list of nominated proxies below. 1, Mr. Tony O. Elumelu, CON, Mr. Kennedy Uzoka, Mr. Billy A. Odom, Dr. Farouk Umar, Sir Sonny Nwosu, Chief Timothy Adesina, Mrs. Bisi Bakare, Mr. Nona Awo, Mr. Patrick O. Ajudwa. 4, stamping of proxy. The company has made arrangements at its cost for the stamping of the duly completed and signed proxy forms submitted to the company's registrars within the stipulated time. Live streaming of the AGM. The AGM will be streamed live online. This would enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow the proceedings. The link for the AGM live streaming will be made available on the company's website at www.ubagroup.com. Dividend payment. If the dividend recommended by the directors is approved, dividend will be posted electronically today, Thursday, April 7th, 2022, to all shareholders whose names are registered in the company's register of members as at the close of business on Friday, March 18, 2022, and who have completed the e-dividend registration and have mandated the registrars to pay dividend directly into their bank accounts. 7, closure of register of members. The register of members will be closed from Monday, March 21st, 2022 to Friday, March 25th, 2022 for the purpose of paying dividend and updating the register. 8, profiles of directors for election/re-election. The profiles of Mrs. Owanari Duke, Erelu Angela Adebayo, Ms. Aisha Hassan Baba, OON, and Mrs. Caroline Ayawo, who are seeking election/re-election, are provided in the annual report. Questions from shareholders. Shareholders and other holders of the company's securities reserve the right to ask questions not only at the meeting but also in writing prior to and after the meeting on any item contained in the annual report and accounts. Please send all questions to investorrelations@ubagroup.com. Unclaimed dividend warrants and share certificates. Shareholders are hereby informed that a number of share certificates and dividend warrants which were returned to the registrars as unclaimed are still in the custody of the registrars. A list of all unclaimed dividend will be circulated with the annual report and financial statements. Any shareholder affected by this notice is advised to contact the company's registrars, Africa Prudential PLC, at 220B Ikorodu Road, Palm Grove, Lagos, or via email at cxc@africaprudential.com to lay claim. Audit Committee. In accordance with Section 404, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the Audit Committee shall consist of 5 members, comprising of 3 shareholders and 2 non-executive directors. Section 404, subsection 6 of the Act also provides that any member may nominate a shareholder as a member of the Audit Committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination to the Company Secretary at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. The Financial Reporting Council's Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance provides that all members of the Audit Committee should be financially literate and be able to read and understand financial statements. Consequently, a detailed curriculum vitae confirming the nominee's qualification should be submitted with each nomination. Dated this 9th day of March 2022, by order of the board, signed Billy A. Odum, Group Company Secretary, 57 Marina, Lagos. Thank you, Chairman.
Distinguished shareholders, it is time now for me to read the chairman's statement. The chairman's statement is in the annual report on page 35, copies of which have been circulated to all shareholders. With your permission. Okay. All right, thanks. But I think it would be nice to read a few, like 3 paragraphs of it. At least the financial performance and then the awards and recognition that your bank has got during the period. So the year 2021 was a satisfying one for us as a group, evident in the strong performance that was recorded across our key financial metrics. Notably, double-digit growth of 12.2% and 11% was recorded in customer deposits and total assets to 6.4 trillion naira and 8.5 trillion naira respectively. Significant to the total assets of your bank today as at end of December was 8.5 trillion and total deposit was 6.4 trillion naira. Significant improvement was also demonstrated in the group's earning capacity, illustrated by the 7% growth in gross earnings to 660 billion. Overall, our gross profitability grew by 20.3%, further demonstrating our dominance in the financial services space. The diversity of our income base, a critical foundation of our long-term strategy, only increases with our African operations, that's ex-Nigeria, contributing approximately 63.2% of the profit for the year. Were truly and indeed a Pan-African bank. Through our internal credit risk assessment models, and dynamic recovery management, we were able to further drive down the ratio of our non-performing loans to a record low of 3.6%. From 4.7% in 2020. This was achieved despite the growth in our loan book to 2.8 trillion naira in the year. Our goal is to continue to build strong brand loyalty with our customers and create additional value for our shareholders, whose underlying support has positioned the brand for continued growth. We are confident in our capacity to sustain this momentum in 2022 and beyond, as economic activity around the globe revive after the impact of the COVID pandemic. Your bank, UBA, received a lot of awards and recognition in 2021. Your bank was named the 2021 Africa's Bank of the Year, at the Banker Magazine Awards published by the Financial Times of London. According to the Banker Magazine, the award is in recognition of the group's financial performance, excellence service delivery to customers, and continuous role in fostering rapid economic growth across Africa. In addition, your bank won the Bank of the Year award in Nigeria and 12 other countries out of the 19 countries that you operate in. With this feat, UBA has broken the record of awards in the most countries by a single banking group in a single year at the Banker Magazine Awards. This is something we should be extremely proud of. We are happy that the global community recognizes the role our group is playing in the transformation of the African economic landscape through innovative and customer-focused banking products and services. This further reinforces our commitment to continuously exceed our customers' expectations in terms of service delivery excellence. I will like to express my profound gratitude to our customers across the group for their trust in our institution and their livelihoods that they continue to place in our care. Our people are the driving force behind our business. I'm deeply grateful to their dedicated service to our customers across Africa, especially in the 20 African countries that we operate in. I would also like to thank our board for their devotion, sacrifice, commitment, and service to the group in guiding our institution to success where others have struggled during this period. Finally, you, our shareholders, deserve my utmost appreciation for your unflinching commitment to this dream of building an African financial powerhouse, a dream that is clearly unfolding into a rewarding reality. I thank you all. I will now ask the representative of the auditors, Ernst & Young, to present the auditor's report.
Sorry, Chairman, can I make an appeal?
Yes, please.
For the records, my name's Nona Awu. We did bury a one-time managing director of UBA in the person of Luke Okafor. And I think that if that happened less than a month ago, we should also honor him by observe a minute silence for him and every other shareholder, staffers, who probably will have also lost their life during the year that we are not aware of. That's my appeal. Thank you.
Thanks so much. That is in order. And based on that, may I request our members to kindly rise and let's observe a minute silence as Nona aptly captured. May the gentle soul of our erstwhile group managing director, Chief Luke, or Dr. Luke, Dr. Chief Luke Okafor, rest in the bosom of the Lord, and also other shareholders, directors, staff, and people in the UBA's world that pass in the year under review. We commit their souls to God. Thank you. Just to also inform members that our able group managing director personally attended the funeral, and EBA was fully involved. Thanks. So I will now ask representatives of the auditors, Ernst & Young, to present the auditor's report, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and a very good morning to members of the board, distinguished shareholders, and every other person here present. The auditor's reports can be found on pages 84 to 89 of the annual report, pages 84 to 89 of the annual report. And with the permission of the distinguished shareholders and Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would like to summarize the audit report, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
All right. Thank you,
please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Independent auditor's report to the members of United Bank for Africa PLC. The report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. The opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of United Bank for Africa PLC, and that's the bank and its subsidiaries, the group, which comprise the consolidated and separate statements of financial position as at 31 December 2021, and the consolidated and separate statements of comprehensive income, the consolidated and separate statements of changes in equity, and the consolidated and separate separate statements of cash flows for the year that ended, and notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of the group and the bank as at 31 December 2021, and its consolidated and separate financial performance and consolidated and separate cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the banks and other Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act number 6, 2011, and the Central Bank of Nigeria circulars. Basis for our opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with the International Standards on Audit, ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements part of our report. We are independent of the group and the bank in accordance with International Ethics Standards Board for accountants, International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independence Standards, ISBA Code, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements in Nigeria, and we have fulfilled our ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the ISBA Code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our audit opinion. We then have a next section for key audit matters, which relates to expected credit loss assessment on loans and advances to customers. We have another section on other information. Then the responsibilities of the directors for the consolidated and separate financial statements. On page 87, we also have the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. And I'd like to take on page 89 the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the requirements of the fifth schedule of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we confirm that, 1, that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the group and bank insofar as it appears from our examination of those books. The consolidated and the separate statements of financial position and the consolidated and the separate one of the comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account, and in our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act number 6, 2011, and the Central Bank of Nigeria circulars, so as to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs and financial performance of the bank and its subsidiaries. In compliance with the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020 and the circulars issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria, 1, the information that is required by the Central Bank of Nigeria circular BSD/1/2004 on insider-related credits is disclosed in Note 43 to the consolidated and separate financial statements. And 2, as disclosed in Note 46 to the consolidated and separate financial statements, the bank contravened some circulars of the Central Bank of Nigeria, signed by myself for Ernst & Young, dated 4th March 2022. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I will now ask the chairman of the Audit Committee to present the Audit Committee's report on behalf of the committee.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on page 76. I present the report of the Statutory Audit Committee to members of the United Bank for Africa PLC. In accordance with the provisions of Section 404 subsection 7 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we, the members of the Audit Committee, hereby report as follows. 1, we confirm that we have seen the audit plan and scope and management letter on the audit of UBA Group consolidated and separate financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2021, and the responses to the said letter. In our opinion, the plan and scope of the audit for the year ended December 31, 2020 were adequate, and we have reviewed the auditor's
findings, and we are satisfied with the management responses thereon. We also confirm that the accounting and reporting policies of the bank are in accordance with legal requirements and ethical practices. As required by the provisions of the Central Bank of Nigeria Circular BSD/1/2004, dated February 18, 2004, on disclosure of insider-related credits in financial statements. We reviewed the insider-related credits of the bank and found them to be as analyzed in the group consolidated and separate financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2021. Signed, Peyi Ogoji, Chairman, Statutory Audit Committee. And members of the audit committees are Barrister Matthew Esonajo, Shareholder, Mr. Alex Adio, Shareholder, Mrs. Honore Duke, Independent Non-Executive Director, and Ms. Angela Aneke, Non-Executive Director, and my humble self, Peyi Ogoji, Chairman and Shareholder. Thank you.
Thank you. May I request that you kindly refer to pages 80 and 81 of the annual report for the report of the independent consultants, Deloitte and Touche, on the corporate governance framework of your bank and performance evaluation of your directors too. Resolution by poll and show of hands. Pursuant to Section 248 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I hereby direct that a poll be taken on all resolutions for consideration at this meeting, except the resolution for the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee, which shall be by show of hands. Since this is an AGM by proxy and the votes on all the proxy forms duly submitted have been collated by the registrars, I would ask the registrars to share the voting results on the resolutions upon the introduction for consideration. There are 8 ordinary resolutions and 5 special resolutions being considered. A simple majority of the total votes from the proxies received will be required to pass the ordinary resolutions, whereas 75% of the total votes from the proxies received will be required to pass the special resolutions. Before we start, can you stand up? Let members see you. Stand up, please. Is also one of us. Can you go and sit near Muyiwa, please? Okay. So that Kobo dividend will be banished forever. But it's been banished already. Eh? We want more Naira dividends. Okay, directors' reports and accounts. The next item is to receive the director's report and the balance sheet as at December 31, 2021, together with the profit and loss account for the year ended on that date. I hereby move that the director's report and balance sheet as at December 31, 2021, together with the profit and loss account for the year ended on that day, submitted to the meeting, be received and adopted. Will somebody please second this motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to second that motion.
Thank you. That motion has been seconded by Sir Sonny Nwosu. Distinguished shareholders, you now have the opportunity to ask questions relating to this motion. In doing so, it will help to ensure that we give the right answer if you could refer to the page of the report and accounts to which your question relates. I see their question. Okay, so let's give numbers to shareholders. Dr. Farouk 1, Sani Nwosu 2, Adura 3, Nona 4, BC Bakari 5. Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, directors of UBA, our regulators, shareholders. Mr. Chairman, my name is Dr. Farouk Umar, President Association for the Advancement of the Rights of Nigerian Shareholders. Mr. Chairman, I want to begin my comments to say that you have fulfilled your promise to us. Last year, we pleaded with you that the era of Kobo dividend should go. I remember 3 years back, the MD, even though you pleaded with him to ensure that we get 1 naira, but he drew our attention to the fact that we need to strengthen our balance sheet, we need to reserve our funds, and we were patient. Today, Mr. Chairman, UBA, you have paid us 1 naira. I think we should clap for them. We thank you, Mr. Chairman. We thank our directors, staff, and management of this bank. Despite the economic situation in the country, UBA has been able to grow our profitability, to grow our base of customers. You have said all the things that I don't want to repeat. But, Mr. Chairman, I also want to draw the attention of shareholders to say that, you know, if you look at the dividend paid by banks, our dividend is the best. Why? Because with 8 naira price of our share, our dividend yield, Mr. Chairman, is 12.5. No bank has achieved this. I think we should also clap for them. Mr. Chairman, I'm also happy that globally in Africa, we are #1 with 19. We are present in 19 countries, including Nigeria, making it 20. And we have seen that, as you said. You know, some years back, Mr. Chairman, we were talking of about 30% contribution of the African countries. Today, we are 63. This vision of yours is strengthening the bank. We are running from AMCON, CBN. We are running from all these charges. And as I said some years back, that with this vision of your expansion in Africa, we are going to be the first bank in Nigeria. We have over 25 million customers. And Mr. Chairman, like you said, our non-performing loan ratio, 3.6, less than 5. Again, from all the accounts released, this is the least NPL ratio I have seen. Again, we are happy. Mr. Chairman, our capital adequacy ratio is above the regulatory requirement. I will leave all these details. We are happy with the PBT of 157 billion. And look at our deposit base, 7 trillion naira. UBA is growing, and every day we are happy. Now, Mr. Chairman, let me refer you to page 11. I am also happy, again, Mr. Chairman, to say UBA is always trying to keep to our regulatory requirements. If you look at the board members, we have 16 board members, Mr. Chairman, and we have 5 women. This is 31% above the 30 required. Mr. Chairman, this is great. I commend UBA for this. I don't want to go into the awards. You have said that. And our customer first policy, Mr. Chairman, this is an innovation. Customers are always treated with first-class service. And I think, again, we are happy that you are making our customers first. I would have loved to say shareholders should be first. But if customers are not being placed to be first, we may not get the dividend we are getting. I'm also happy with your sustainability. And you know, you have committed 1% of our profit to corporate social responsibility. Mr. Chairman, everybody knows that today you are a household name, not only in Nigeria. Talk to anybody in Africa, he knows Elumelu. We are proud of you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to take you to page 70 to pages 70 to 73 on retiring directors. Again, Mr. Chairman, I want to mention this. I'm happy SEC and CBN are here. Part of the requirement by SEC for us re-electing retiring directors is that they must fulfill 75% attendance at board and committee meetings. Mr. Chairman, let me start with Owanari, who is on 3 boards, board committees, audit, credit, governance. She has attended 100% of all the meetings. And at board also, 7/7, that is 100. We are going to re-elect you. My mentor, my friend, my fellow director, Erelu, I didn't expect anything less than what I have seen. Mr. Chairman, both audit, governance, risk, and the board meetings, 100% attendance. What else do we expect from our directors? And also the other 2 directors, Asha Hassan Baba and also Caroline. We are going to elect Caroline. Again, Mr. Chairman, attendance has been 100%. I want to conclude, Mr. Chairman, by commending the registrars. Mr. Chairman, shareholders have been calling me, having one problem or the other. And Mr. Chairman, within 24 hours, they resolved their problems. I think, Mr. Chairman, you should commend them. This has happened several times.
Maybe the CEO can stand up and
for
the CEO
recognition.
For recognition.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I am also happy that you keep one tradition, getting our former directors to attend this AGM. Look at our former chairman. Mr. Chairman, this shows that you value people. You don't use people and dump them. You want every person to be part of the company, because even though he has left, he is still contributing to the development of this company. Mr. Chairman, I commend you for this tradition. Finally, Mr. Chairman, I want to say that inflation is with us. The staff who have helped us to achieve this, Mr. Chairman, we should improve on their remuneration. Even the directors, Mr. Chairman, with this performance, Mr. Chairman, try and increase the board fee of the director. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sure you have a vote of confidence by staff and directors. Yeah. Okay, clap for him again now. All right, thank you. Number Sir Sonimosu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry that I'm sitting down because of the health challenge. So I want to start by thanking UBA management through the company secretary who gave me moral support when I had the stroke, which I'm recovering from.
Only moral support.
The moral support is the most important thing.
I know.
Yeah. So the company secretary was calling while I was on sick bed. So I want to thank him. And I know it is for his cause represents every member of the board. Thank you very much. The second one, Mr. Chairman, is that I want to refer us to the special business of today, which has to do with CAMA regulations and all this and that. We as shareholders, we have always been in support of your actions. We believe in you because you have always been taking a good discretion in empowering the shareholders. You can see most of where we are getting money from today were as a result of your discretion in giving us shares in all the subsidiaries of UBA. So I also want you to use this discretion on the special business. That it's not a matter of canceling the shares, but give us a hope by giving us bonus from those shares that will further help us, and in line with what Farouk said, will help us to check inflation by next year when I believe that UBA will be paying...
Sorry, please.
Yeah.
Bola, can you get him a microphone and the public address system to use?
Yeah, I can handle it. My right hand is still very strong. It's still Sonny also. So all I'm saying, sir, is that whatever you do in respect of that CAMA position will further create happiness in us. We're actually happy with you and your discretion, along with the line of the directors. I'm just reminding you because the resolution is saying empowering the directors to take a decision to...
It's his voice, sir. It's not the microphone.
It's not just voice. It's not the only one. It's not the only one.
Can I go on, please? Is this better? Okay. Mr. Chairman, all I'm saying is that we all appreciate you, all the shareholders, and it is time for you to apply discretion again, that you should apply discretion in line that will be happier with bonus instead of canceling the shares against the call-up and all this and that. So we're appealing to you to use your always better discretion in doing this to give us bonus. The second thing is on page 195 of the annual report, where we have the central bank. Where we have the central bank cash reserve. The cash reserve is gone to 969 billion naira, as against 1,103,888,000 last year. My question is, are we actually getting anything from this? Why is this compulsory cash reserve? Because we could also use this money to create more value for the bank and to the shareholders. So I think the central bank should take a decision on this. We have been talking year in, year out about this, that they should allow us to use our money to create more value for the shareholders. I have already submitted a position paper on the whole and bulky annual report, and I'm sure I was asking who said he saw it. So I'm sure with time it will get to you to understand our position in this. Mr. Chairman, on that note, I share the position of Dr. Farouk that we must encourage those who are actually baking the bread to be happy in baking more cake for us to share. But at the same time, without the discretion and the support of the management and board, we probably will not get this. So I want to thank them on behalf of Share. And I also want to remind you that last year, I did criticize the dividend, and you promised that it's going to be better. So please, shall we put our hands together for the great lion? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless all of us. Thank you.
Mr. Judah, please.
The chairman of the board of UBA PLC, directors, my fellow shareholders, the regulator here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Patrick Ajudo, and I say good morning to you all. Mr. Chairman, I will start on a note of joy, and that joy is for the fact that God, in His mercy, have brought us far, and UBA is still standing very, very strong, with a strong asset base, with a strong earning, and also with a very strong capital base. Please, let's give a round of applause to UBA, please. In line with this is also your good self, Mr. Tony Lumelu. I want to say I join those who want to wish you your birthday, which is in arrears. Though we are not present, but we are present in spirit with you. We are happy. I celebrate your 59th year birthday, and we pray that God will grant you more long life. You are an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, a consummate banker, an economist, a believer in African capitalism, a man with a passion for eradication of poverty. And that was why I can say to you, sir, that your greatest trophies are the tears you have wiped away from people's face and the happiness you have brought to their life. We say thank you very much, sir. Along these lines, sir, is also to commend the Monday night Time 100 Impact Award and Gala in Dubai, given to your good self. You said, and I quote, "The world is in need of people like us more than ever." I close the quote. You have spent your career in advocating for economic empowerment of less fortunate places in the world. Your foundation has given $5,000 each to over 15 young entrepreneurs from 54 African countries as part of your contribution to their growth. So we celebrate you, we thank God for your life, and we ask Him to give you the financial strength to do more, not only for Africa, but for the entire world. Thank you very much, sir. In line with your philanthropism also is the man sitting at your right hand, the group managing director, Mr. Uzoka, who I always refer to as Mr. Lucky. He has brought in so much goodwill to the bank. I commend your various transformation work since you assumed leadership. According to Nelson Mandela, he said, and I quote, "Everyone can rise above their circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do." So we appreciate you, Mr. Uzoka. It is in this light that you won the award, among which is the prestigious Zik Prize for Professional Leadership, in recognition of your outstanding contribution to the development and growth of banking and financial service, and the unblemished record of service as a banker of international repute. Mr. Uzoka would celebrate you once again. Mr. Chairman, when I entered this hall, I was looking for my fellow shareholder, but I saw different personality. I saw people with just one single color. Look at them, just the stars. The women, they have similar color. Mr. Chairman, it takes me to the celebration of World Women's Day. They are wonderful staff. We celebrate with the staffs of UBA, both male and female. We thank you for the cake you have baked, and may God bless you in Jesus' name. Mr. Chairman, as I said, it's a day of joy because you're having men and women on your board who I'm seeing for the first time after so many years. Mrs. Caroline Ayanwu is here, having spent 30 years in Diamond Bank and now joined as non-executive director. We appreciate you bringing her on board, and we pray that our election today will be a success. She will be confirmed as a non-executive director of the bank. Mr. Chairman, on page 36, I want to commend the recognition of UBA, which you have said was given to you, the bank, among 12 of the 19 African countries you are. And equally to commend the outgoing managing director, Mr. Ayoka Liadi, and to welcome on board once again, Mrs. Ayanwu. We pray that your coming on board will continue to add value to the board. On page 46, I want to commend the improved technology, innovation, and digitalization, which was seen in the launch of UBA Mobile App 1.0 in all the African countries you are present. My question to you, sir, is that in view of the fact that you are reinforcing your digital and banking and payment platform, how do you intend to reassure your customer of your commitment to strengthen the infrastructure to fully absorb the growing clientele of the bank? On the account, Mr. Chairman, I celebrate you, I celebrate the board for the non-performing loan. I celebrate the growth of the asset and equally the growth of the capital adequacy ratio. And in line with this, Mr. Chairman, I would like to refer you to page 48 and page 54, which I will round up with. Page 54 and 48. On page 54 is note 11, is on the regulator. That is CBN. When you asked that they should move their seat forward, I was not very happy. And I will tell you why. The shareholder called on CBN to consider reducing the cash reserve requirement to enhance the bank's profitability. At present, the CRR is earning 0%. And when released to the bank, it can earn more when plugged into retail. Number two is the need for CBN to review the Basel III requirement. The Basel III Accord increased the minimum capital requirement for banks from 2% in Basel II to 4.5% of their net assets as a percentage of the bank risk-weighted assets. They are also required to provide an extra 2.5% buffer capital requirement, bringing the total requirement to 7%. This means that the bank needs to retain more of their profit, and that is not good. Mr. Chairman, of recent is what Samonsu was saying, the charges that CBN brought. When you check 241, you will see it, sir. CBN imposed charges on banks, among them about 5 banks, including UBA, a fine for cryptocurrency transaction. Under page 241, UBA was charged 100 million. There are some banks that were charged 400 million, 200 million. What is CBN going to do with all this money? These are shareholders' money. And that was why I said I am not happy. If I were the one, I should take their seats to the back. Because they have not done well. Taking shareholders' money is sin, is evil. It will deny us of dividend of 2 naira, which we know you are going to give us next year. So chairman will call on them to reduce this and then add human face when they are charging penalty to bank. Because I know if they do that, it will improve our earning. If they do that, it will make you to also pay more to the directors. And if you do that, of course, they have a smiling staff. Their salary also will be improved. So I want to thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, to appreciate you and ask Almighty God to continue to take UBA to a greater height. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, this is a big challenge for me. Calling this type of 4 leaders before me is a big challenge. I've been canceling my book since, but I will try as much as possible to say 1 or 2 that I have. On that note, I stand on the existing protocol. My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi Oluwayemisi. Good morning, all. Firstly, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend our board and management for the investment our bank made across the globe in 20 countries. Also, I want to appreciate and congratulate our board for the granting of banking license to operate in the United Arab Emirates, which has increasing our international footprint to 4 leading financial centers. This is highly commendable. Still on the same page, that is page 36. I want to also commend our outgoing Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Liadi Ayoku, for his contribution to the growth of our bank. I wish him best of luck in his future endeavors. Again, I welcome our new non-executive director, Mrs. Caroline Ayanwu, into the board of our bank. Also, I congratulate our new deputy managing director, Mr. Oliver Alauba, for his elevation, because he was in the system before, but he has been elevated as the deputy managing director, overseeing both UBA Nigeria and UBA Africa. I say congratulations to you, sir. Page 50 to 53. Sorry. Okay, sorry, sir. Page 50 to 53, where we have UBA Foundation. I want to especially commend our bank for the UBA Foundation and its intervention in education, health, women empowerment, and wealth awareness. I thank the leadership of UBA for giving back to the society where we operate. Givers never lack. I pray that UBA will never lack, that will continue to grow from strength to strength. Page 60. I'm going to repeat Dr. Farouk here on page 60 because I'm also a female.
No, maybe let's not repeat because
I'm not going to repeat.
13 resolutions to pass
I'm not going
today.
to repeat what he said. Please. But what I just want to say is that, of course, we've done very well on board level, but we need to look at our top management as well. We are still in 23% for the female on top management. So I want the board to look at that area too. Page 62. Page 62. where we have disclosure of customer complaints. I think there is need to improve on this, Mr. Chairman, as we have unresolved complaint pending with the bank at 3,370 against 998. I want our board to look at this in year 2022. Page 90 to 92. I commend the astonished performance of the bank in a very difficult and challenging time we are in this country. All the positive indices as stated on page 8 is an indication that our bank is on positive growth trajectory and promising future for its shareholders and all the stakeholders. This is highly commendable also. But I have a question for the board on this. The question is that how do you hope to sustain this growth trajectory and ensure we improve returns to all the stakeholders? Page 192, note 19. That is on our OPEX, other operating expenses. I want to encourage board to and executive management to do more in our advertising, promotions, and branding. Also on our IT support and security. Please, but I'm not happy seeing our auditors' remuneration moving from 773 million to over 1 billion. I'm not against them increasing their fees, but increase of over 300 million. I think within a year, I think this is alarming and outrageous. I want the audit committee also to look at this also. Increase of over 300 million within a year. Please, I want the board to look at it. Lastly, I want to especially thank this entire staff of UBA because we have, in fact, yesterday we attended another bank AGM, but I've never seen a bank, management like UBA. This morning I received a mail from one Mr. Omobolaji Balogun, even since yesterday from airport. I received a mail from Mr. Omobolaji Balogun that our sitting arrangement is already at the hall and that our lunch, we should wait for our lunch after 15 minutes after the AGM. In fact, I want to especially thank the entire board management and staff of UBA for a wonderful job. Thank you and God bless you all.
So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we need to move pretty fast because we have a lot of resolutions to pass. But before then, the response to some of the comments made, some you were just advising the board and management, so advice and taken and well noted and appreciated. Some that I thought we should respond to. I will just make a few and then call on the group managing director to take it from there. We'll both be very brief. For the issue of special bonus that one of the shareholders made, I just said, noted for the future, these resolutions we have today, everything's already voted, passed. And this applies to some of the comments other shareholders have also made. Two, but it's good to know that we always look after the interests of our shareholders. What we are not distributing by our bonus is still in reserve for the owners or for you shareholders. The two comments about a comment about directors' remuneration and stuff, and I thought I should speak to that. We're extremely prudent as board members, and we extremely prudent. So, and we also make sure that our staff are well compensated. The year under review, staff salary was increased significantly in the bank. And we do so happily and proudly because the staff of EBA indeed do a whole lot, go the extra length, make a lot of sacrifices, extremely committed, dedicated professional, and very, very, very hardworking. And so it's something we always do. If you look at talking about the board remuneration, you look at board remuneration, I'm not sure it's ever been, I think for so many years, we've not done anything. Since 2011, that is 11 years now, it's not been taught. If you also take sampling of what you have in other banks, other institutions, what we have is extremely prudent. And there's nothing wrong in there's nothing wrong in what the board remuneration. And the board of EBA actually, let me even say so. That's why in every opportunity I have, I always commend the group board and subsidiary board of EBA. The group board members, as some of you have observed, they serve on like 2, 3 committees, and some of them almost work as executive directors, that there's no amount of board remuneration professionally done as we're doing that will compensate for the sacrifice, dedication, and the interest they have for our banks. Thank you. Voting. So again, the voting on all resolutions we have here have already been made. Support for shareholders. That our shareholders are extremely supportive and very committed. Life has changed. You know, the new karma and what's happening now and it relates to. In fact, we wanted to do cocktail yesterday. We wanted to do cocktail to invite shareholders, etc. We were reminded by the company secretary raising the directive of regulators that you can't do that, you can do that. I said, wow. So we are guided, and as responsible organization, some of you have just advised that the bank should continue to ensure it's not fined. We can't do otherwise. And today, our 300,000 shareholders plus, they have the opportunity to join the deliberation online in the comfort of their homes than even traveling unnecessarily. So I think that life has improved, and we should commend the new life that we're seeing. UAE, I think there must be typers, the printer's devil here. We do have approval in principle for the records. We have not commenced operation. We intend to commence operation as soon as the final approval is given. I thought I should state that. GMD, let me call on you to respond to the other issues quickly.
Thank you, Group Chairman and Directors, our distinguished shareholders here and all over the world, because I've been receiving messages across, and of course our staff and our customers. Let me start by saying that we always take in anything that comes this type of platform because our purposes are common, and that is to make you be the best, regardless of your role, whether you sit on the board or you're just a passive or active shareholder or a customer. All you're doing is to make you be better. So we welcome it, we love it. So a lot of the things you said today are advisory. We'll take them back and use them to improve what we're doing. I can assure you that myself and my team have listened, and I saw most of them taking down notes, and I know what that means when we take down notes. It means we will work on them and ensure we get positive outcomes. Having said that, there are a number of things I want to address. I think the group chairman came to my rescue because I'm not worthy to comment on some of the things that were raised, especially as it relates to the board. But he has taken care of that. So in no specific order, from Farouk I think the issue of inflation, we know what it is, and I think the group chairman has spoken well on that. The truth of the matter is that for a behemoth like UBA, with over 10,000 direct and another 6,000 to 7,000 indirect staff, looking at about 16,000 workers, it is not a piece of cake. Because one thing about HR is that it goes in only one direction. You cannot increase salary this month and 6 months you reduce it. You can't even explain it. So what that means is that you have to be very careful and make sure that you are able to do your analysis. Hence, it took us time to get to where we got. And I must use this opportunity to thank the board, because the approval that we got based on our proposal as management was far-reaching. And the reason they did that was simple. We need to encourage our people to do well. So it's not like the case of chicken and egg, which comes first. The board decided to invest with the expectation that we achieve our goal. So we were not driven by current challenges. We're not driven by what we see now, but we're driven by the opportunities and the potentials in each of the geographies that we operate in. And also laying that on our aspiration of being the most desired institution. You can't have the best institution without the best people. They go together. And that is why the board did that. So in my view, nothing is constant. Where we are today, I think we have done something very reasonable at all levels and across the geographies. Chairman, thank you for at least dealing with the issue of the board. The second point I want to address here, I know the regulators are here. Thank you, Chairman, for bringing them to, before they say they came to UBA and GMD kept them somewhere. The issue of CRR, I think it's been overflogged. I don't want to dwell on that. But if you speak to the Central Bank Governor of Nigeria, he says that this whole exercise is to help the Nigerian economy, that people need to play different roles. It might bite you, it might hurt you, but we should keep our eyes on the goal. So that's all I would need to say. But I must also say that it was worse than what it was today. If you look at the trend, he has reduced drastically. And of course, they had to issue us special bills to cushion that. You will tell me that how much are you getting, but anything is better than nothing. So I think we are seeing some improvements, and we know that as Nigeria tries to tackle the broader macroeconomic challenges, some of these things will go away because it's not something that you keep forever. The issue of fines, yes, very regrettable, largely from the crypto issues. In fact, it's currently trending on social media of many banks that have been heavily sanctioned. And the reason is simple. Central Bank prohibited crypto trading in any form. We immediately, as a bank that is driven by zero tolerance on fines and sanctions, took proactive steps. But these people are very smart. All they did was to change the way they operate. First, you will not see crypto attached to their name. Like if you see United Bank for Africa, you know it's a bank. Or you see something airline, you know it's an airline business. They completely masked the identity and was able to beat the system. But we have, using our technology and also collaborating with other geographies where this is allowed to also get some algorithms that has helped us to prevent further operation of these people. We hope that that will be laid to rest. But we're also begging Central Bank to look at that, because we took action. It's not like we were negligent. But, I mean, if a man changes from being a man to a woman, what do you do? How do you know when you don't have the formula to know that? The other point from Nona, I think you said so many things. We've taken them on board, but I'd like to speak about Kenya and Uganda and also UK. We had a peculiar situation in Kenya and Uganda, and if you look at the accounts, we have treated it in line with IFRS standard. And the reason is simple. Being a Pan-African multinational, if you know, during the pandemic and even up to last year, a lot of banks suffered foreign currency liquidity challenges. UBA did not. And the reason is because of our operation as a multinational We take advantage of where we have opportunities, where we see surpluses to deal with where we have gaps. So we were able to deal with that proactively. But there also lies the risk. Nigeria being our parent country, where we have the largest operation, some of our subsidiaries did investment in Nigeria, and expectedly so. But of course, we know how the macroeconomic had moved, and these are treasury instruments that you mark to market. So when they were coming out, they suffered losses. The board, based on management recommendation, rather than trying to trade out over time, which is also one of the ways to deal with it, we decided to take these losses. So that's what depressed those two countries, and we immediately took special entries. In UK had made losses for a very long time, but I'm happy to tell you that from July last year, they've started making profit. And not only last year, even to date, till this March that just ended a few days ago, they have been making profit. So UK is turned around, new leadership, very positioned and aggressive, and I heard when somebody said, man, woman, please, UK is also a man, doing very well. So we try to look at all these things, but driven more importantly by what are the opportunities there? Who is the best fit? We need to resolve that before we begin to look at other things. The other point I think I've talked about, director's fees, no, that's chairman's own. Low cost is our forte. That's the only thing we talk about. We call it CASA, which is current account and savings. As a matter of fact, if you bring time deposit of 1 trillion, you don't get recognized. So that is, I think Nona said it, because we know how the dynamics of CASA in profitability. We know how it affects your treasury play, because UBA is largely a treasury-led organization because of our huge network, not just in Nigeria, but across the world. We know that if we attract cheap deposit, we know what to do with it. And our brand is very strong. And that's one of the things that helped us during the severe pandemic era. When most international banks were withdrawing lines for most institutions in emerging market like UBA, they did not cut our line. In fact, they even diverted some funding to us. So you have a very great bank out of Africa that is respected, regardless of what is happening in our geography. And I want to use this opportunity to speak a little about this rest of Africa and Nigeria. The directive and the vision we have, based on what our group chairman did when he was the CEO, was to diversify UBA's fortunes, so that what happens in one economy does not affect the entire enterprise. Hence, we are in all these locations. Now, looking at that, we said then, at the infancy, that there should be 50-50 ratio in terms of how Nigeria is standalone business fed and how the rest of Africa fed. Well, I think you said it all, CRL and all that. Africa has gone and will indeed go. You saw that it came down from 70 to 60-something. Nigeria is also warming up. And I know my colleagues here from Nigeria, these Abuja people, you don't let the African people beat you. They're also listening to me. They shouldn't, because the whole idea is for all our cylinders to be firing. And as one shareholder said, we are strong as our weakest link. If we have an entity that is not producing the way we've planned it, it affects the total sum. So that's where we are. TB bills taking, Donna. So, Madam, the issue of complaints, as a customer-first bank that has that in our DNA, that's what we focus on. We have systems that we use, but again, we were recently told that more than 92% of our transactions are happening in digital channels. So you know the implication of that with all these 2,000, 1,000, 4,000 and all that. We have also built a robust infrastructure that does what we call handshake. So if you go to a branch, you start a transaction and you don't finish, you go to another location. The moment they call up your details, they will know where you have ended. We are still developing all that, even voice banking and all that. And of course, you know, United Bank for Africa is leading in digital banking, even if you look at digital from the standpoint of chat banking. Our Leo, just this year alone, Leo has done almost 98 billion naira transactions. Leo is opening a quarter of the accounts that UBA opens today. And that's at zero cost to the bank. So, and when we say these figures in billions, you know that people that use Leo, which is a conversational platform, they don't do 20 million naira. Maximum, they will do 15,000, max. So if you divide that, you can imagine the level of transaction happening there. And one of the things we are doing, speaking to Mrs. Bakare, in terms of partnering, because we know where the world is going. Traditional banking is giving way, but banking will remain. And that's why we are working with top regional and global technology giants. And for instance, Leo, we work with Apple, we work with Google, and the rest of them. And we're doing a lot in that area, just that we don't want to be faster than the market so that there will be adoption, so that we don't invest in infrastructures that will not be used immediately, because they cost a lot of money, especially for infrastructures that are foreign that we have to use Forex to pay. So we have to be very careful. So we do all this juggling to make sure that we do the right thing. So I think, in summary, I've tried to keep my comments short. Please, my email address is kennedy.uzoka@ubagroup.com. Reach me there, and we can continue this discourse. Thank you very much, Chairman.
So very good. Let's clap again for our Group Managing Director and CEO. He's a tech-savvy CEO, digital CEO, in fact, and extremely passionate about Leo. So GMD, Leo, Nona says that we are borderline. So Nona, GMD and Leo will help move us across. Okay. All right. I now put the motion to the meeting. You know the motion. I don't know, because one motion that is taking out this. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the poll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the purpose of this meeting, we received 391. Sorry about that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the purpose of this meeting, we received 391 proxies with a total of 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 53.21% of the issued share capital of United Bank for Africa PLC. For the resolution to receive the audited accounts for the year ended December 31, 2021, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon, the results of the poll is as follows. 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you.
I now declare that the motion has been duly carried as an ordinary resolution. The next item on the agenda is the declaration of a final dividend. The directors are recommending a final dividend of 80 kobo per share of 50 kobo to all shareholders whose names were registered in the company's register of members at the close of business on Friday, March 18, 2022. Shareholders are requested to note that an interim dividend of 6,839,800 84,273 naira 20 kobo only, at the rate of 20 kobo per share per every ordinary 50 kobo share was paid to all shareholders on September 30, 2021 for the half year ended June 30, 2021. If approved, the final dividend payable will be 27,359,537,092 naira 80 kobo only, to be paid on Thursday, April 7, 2022, at the rate of 80 kobo per every ordinary share of 50 kobo share to shareholders whose names appeared in the register of members at the close of business on Friday, March 18, 2022, bringing the total dividend paid for the 2021 financial year to 1 naira per every 50 kobo ordinary share. I hereby move that a final dividend of 27,359,537,092 naira 80 kobo only gross in respect of the year ended December 31, 2021 be paid to all shareholders whose names appeared in the register of members at the close of business on Friday, March 18, 2022, be and is hereby declared. Would someone please second the motion? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I, Chief Timothy Adeshinyo, so second.
Thank you, sir. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrars, kindly announce the results of the poll.
For the resolution to declare final dividend, the result of the poll is as follows: 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you.
Opposition is in transit. I now declare that the motion has been duly carried as an ordinary resolution. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of directors retiring by rotation. In accordance with Articles 9(7) of the Articles of Association of the Bank, at the annual general meeting, 1/3 of the non-executive directors of the bank shall retire from office. The following directors are accordingly retiring by rotation and offering themselves for re-election. If I call your name, kindly stand. Mrs. Onari Duke, Erelu Angela Adebayo, Ajia Aisha Hassan Baba, all females. Ms. Duke, stand in, please. Since the voting is by poll, re-election of directors shall be taken individually. I hereby move that Mrs. Onari Duke, a non-executive director, retiring by rotation and offering herself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected a non-executive director of the bank. Will someone please second this motion?
I am Sir Olatunde Okelana, MSc JP. I second that motion as read by the chairman.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrars kindly announce the results of the poll.
For the resolution to re-elect Ms. Owanari Duke a non-executive director of the bank, retiring by rotation and offering herself for re-election. The result of the poll is as follows: 17,376,226,417 units of shares, representing 95.49% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. 819,733,961 units, representing 4.15% of the votes cast by proxy, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention.
And I declare that the motion has been duly carried as an order resolution. Congratulations. You may sit down. You may sit down, please. I hereby move that Erelu Angela Adebayo, a non-executive director, retiring by rotation and offering herself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected a non-executive director of the bank. Will someone please move? This is, let's say, female wants to support female.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next will come to you.
My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi. I second the motion.
Thank you. And now put the motion to the meeting. Registrars, kindly announce the results of the poll.
For the resolution to re-elect Erelu Angela Adebayo, a non-executive director of the bank, retiring by rotation and offering herself for re-election, the result of the poll is as follows: 17,383,334,634 units of shares, representing 95.53% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 812,625,744 units of shares, representing 4.47% of the votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention.
Thank you. I now declare that the motion has been duly carried as an ordinary resolution. Congratulations, everybody. Please sit down. I hereby move that Haja Aisha Hassan Baba, ON, a non-executive director retiring by rotation and offering herself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected a non-executive director of the bank. Will someone please second the motion? Dr. Farouk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I second the motion, I also want to say, Mr. Chairman, I have seen that our board governance committee is composed of women, 4 of them. I pray that Nigeria will have a female as our president, because you must have a reason for having women to be governing our governance committee. With this, Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Thank you. So, women, well done, governors. I now declare that I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrars, kindly announce the results of the poll.
For the resolution to re-elect Hajia Aisha Hassan Baba, a non-executive director of the bank, retiring by rotation and offering herself for re-election, the result of the poll is as follows: 18,076,579,773 units of shares, representing 99.34% of the votes cast by proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 119,380,605 units of shares, representing 0.66% of votes cast by proxies, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you.
Wow. I now declare that the motion has been duly carried as an ordinary resolution. Congratulations, with your 99%. Sit down, please. Also, since the last annual general meeting, Mrs. Caroline Anya was appointed as a non-executive director of the bank, subject to the approval of the Central Bank of Nigeria and in accordance with Article 75 of the Articles of Association of the bank, will retire at this meeting and, being eligible, offer herself for re-election. I hereby move that Mrs. Caroline Anyanwu, a non-executive director, retiring and offering herself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected a non-executive director of the bank. Will someone please second this motion? Mr. Ajudo.
Chairman, I'm sure you are not surprised. So I once again rise to second and celebrate a wonderful woman, Mrs. Caroline Anyanwu, as a director. Thank you very much.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrars kindly announce the results of the poll.
For the resolution to appoint Mrs. Caroline Anyanwu, a non-executive director of the bank, the result of the poll is as follows: 17,477,763,093 units of shares, representing 96.05% of votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. 718,197,285 units representing 3.95% of votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution. There is no abstention.
Okay. I now declare that the motion has been duly carried as an ordinary resolution. Congratulations. Please sit. Please sit. Remission of Auditors. The next item on the agenda is the remuneration of the auditors. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration and expenses of the directors for the year ending, auditors for the year ending December 31, 2022. Will someone please second the motion? Chief Timothy.
The chairman, sir. Hi, Chief Timothy Adesina, so second. But with a caveat that our auditors should bear with us. All the audit fees now we are coming across are moving towards billion and above. And yet, we have not started observing the internal control on financial reporting. When we start this, how much will these auditors be charging us? Please, remember that shareholders need money. Be patient with us. Thank you. I so second, sir.
But that is important, so in seconds, sir. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrars kindly announce the results of the poll.
For the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the 2022 financial year, the result of the poll is as follows: 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you.
What a generous company. I now declare that the motion has been duly carried as an ordinary resolution. The next item on the agenda is disclosure or remuneration of managers of the bank. May I request that you kindly refer to page 239 of the annual report for remuneration of the managers of United Bank for Africa PLC for the year ended December 31, 2021. The next item on the agenda is the election of members of the Audit Committee. The directors nominated to represent the board on the Audit Committee are Ms. Angela Aneke, non-executive director. Please stand. Mrs. Onari Duke, non-executive director. The company secretary has confirmed that a total of 3 valid nominations were received for membership of the Audit Committee from shareholders. The following members have been validly nominated to represent shareholders on the Audit Committee. Dr. Fei, Barrister Matthew Esenenjo, and Mr. Alex Adio. Very eminent members. Accountant, banker, barrister, impressive. As earlier stated, in accordance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act, election of shareholder representatives on the Audit Committee is to be by show of hands. In view of the fact that there are 3 valid nominations from the shareholders to fill the 3 vacancies for shareholders, there shall be no need for an election. I now declare that the Audit Committee be and is hereby constituted for the 2022 financial year with the following members: Dr. Fei Ogoji, shareholder; Barrister Matthew Senenjo, shareholder; Mr. Alex Adio, shareholder; Ms. Angela Aneke, non-executive director; and Honorary Duke, independent non-executive director. Thank you very much and congratulations. The next item on the agenda under special resolution, special business, is the approval of the remuneration of directors. I now move that the remuneration of the directors of the bank for the year ended December 31, 2022, for the year ending December 31, 2022, be and is hereby fixed at 50 million naira for each director. Will someone please second the motion? Sir, please give the mic. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Registrars, kindly announce the result of the poll.
For the resolution that the remuneration of the directors of the bank for the year ending December 31, 2022 be and is hereby fixed at 50 million only for each director, the result of the poll is as follows: 18,069,471,556 units of shares, representing 99.30% of votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. 126,488,822 units of shares, representing 0.70% of the votes cast by proxy, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you.
None have voted and none agreed that that 0.7 was none. Okay. I now declare that the motion has been duly carried as an ordinary resolution. The next item on the agenda is the cancellation of the unissued share capital of the bank. I now move that following the recommendation of the Board of Directors, pursuant to Articles 46 and 47 of the Articles of Association and in compliance with the requirements of Section 124 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Regulation 13 of the Companies Regulations 2021, the bank's unissued share capital of 10,800,000,000 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each be and is hereby cancelled. Will someone please second the motion? Sonny also wants to second the motion. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's hear. No.
Chairman, I didn't want to say anything initially since Patrick said you are 59 and UBA is having its 60th AGM, indirectly saying that UBA is older than you when they started, but leave him to whatever he wants to say. But if you look at notes 9, all the other things are subjoined. So I will prefer a situation where the company secretary read the other ones and then we take one single vote. That's what it is.
I would have thought so, We can also take it because he read it before.
Yeah.
That has been
So-
read.
yeah.
I
So-
think so, and I agree. Members, you're in agreement? I totally in agreement. You know, they've been, he's read them before, and so we just take, no. I buy you lunch. I was asking him that, how do we fast track this? He said no way, but he just gave the solution. Okay, so members will take everything, and then he's seconding, but the motion now you're seconding is for everything.
My chairman, my name's Sir Olatunde Okelana, MSc JP. As all being read by the chairman, I second that motion.
Thank you. So, the legal, I want to consult legally. Okay, so let the registrars please present the outcome of the 5 social resolutions. Please, over to you. Thank you, Nona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For resolution 9.1, I'm going to read the resolution by resolution.
Yeah. Just the results.
Yes, correct. For resolution 9.1 on the cancellation of the issued share capital of the bank, 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 100% votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes voted against the resolution, and there's no abstention. For resolution 9.2, for the amendment of the amendment on the resolution 9.2, 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against and no abstention.
Sure, please. Good point. Good point. So we hereby take it that the motions seconded by the SY shareholder that is not a proxy, all automatically Chief Timothy seconds them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the second one, the MEMAT one, you finished MEMAT one?
Yes.
Okay, next one.
On resolution 9.3 for the amendment of share capital in MEMAT, for which the poll is as follows: 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no votes against or no abstention.
Okay, third one, empowerment of the board of directors.
For resolution 9.4, empowering the board of directors, the results are as follows: 17,975,043,097 units of shares voted, of votes cast by, of shares representing 98.79% of votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. 220,917,281 units of shares, representing 1.21% of the votes cast by proxy, voted against the resolution. There is no abstention.
Okay, fourth one, omnibus resolution.
On resolution 9.5, the omnibus resolutions, the results are as follows: 18,195,960,378 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. There are no votes against the resolution, and there is no abstention. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Can we take, before we take it, let's finish the, is it before? Okay, after, okay. So members, GMD, not to spread some. I now declare that the 5 social resolutions have been duly carried. Thank you, members. But Sonny wants to go ahead, please.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to remind you of your promise to apply discretion on the cancellation of the shares. Yes, because again, that gave us joy, but now you have taken away the joy from us.
No. I said it's noted, resolution passed, but there are a lot of things. All these resolutions, I believe, as you said, that this board and management, we always have the interests of our shareholders at heart. Our past records prove this. Okay? And if opportunities come up for we'll do so. But to note that what we are not sharing today is in reserve for you also as shareholders. Thank you. Okay. Distinguished shareholders, as there's no other business on the agenda, I would like to thank you all on behalf of the board of United Bank for Africa PLC for attending this meeting and showing so much interest in your bank's affairs. It is my pleasure to invite you all for lunch with the board at the Zuma restaurant of Africa's leading hospitality destination, Transcorp Hotel PLC, immediately after this AGM. May I call on Dr. Farouk Umar to say the closing prayer for us, please, and then national anthem follows and we'll go.
We thank God for this successful AGM, for the results posted by the bank, for the leadership he has given us in the person of Tony Elumelu, and we pray that we will have a peaceful election. We pray to God to get us out of the insurgency in this country, and we pray to God to lead our leaders right, guide them. We ask God to bless this bank, make us have more profitability, and make us improve on the payment of dividend to our shareholders. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes might shall never be there.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. And because this is the 60th anniversary.
Yes, sorry, 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, please may you be seated. I see there's a cake here, so maybe we'll give Bolata the microphone to tell us why we have the cake here. Bolata.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed board members. This has been a really successful AGM, and it's the 60th in the history of UBA's over 70 years of operations. This is big. 60 years of banking experience and excellent customer services, and so we'd like to celebrate it and say thank you to all our shareholders, say thank you to all our clients, and thank you to all the staff members that have made this possible. Thank you.
Yes.
Are you inviting us to call the cake?
Please, all the, yes.
What is the order now?
All the directors, please. Everybody, please, all the directors. All the board members, please. Please, can you, yes, your mask off, please. The board of directors. The first picture will be the board of directors, the chairman. No, please. Sir, let us remove photographers. Okay, photographers, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yes, the next set of pictures is the chairman and two managing director alone. The chairman and two managing director alone. Thank you. The chairman and two managing director alone. Okay. Please hold on. Okay, sir. No, there is a group. We'll call them. Okay. Okay. The Deputy Managing Director, can he join? The Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Oliver Lauga. Please, can you join? Okay. The Company Secretary, kindly join. The company secretary, please join. The company secretary. The company secretary. Not done instructions.